2015 marked the 50th anniversary of the National Endowment for the Humanities and the 10th anniversary of its British counterpart, the Arts and Humanities Research Council. This program is one of a series of international dialogues produced in partnership with Humanities Texas and the Harry Ransom Center.
I'm Evan Smith of the Texas Tribune. It's been 50 years since Congress enacted the 1965 Immigration Act. Since then, both the United States and the United Kingdom have experienced profound demographic changes through globalization, revolutions in technology, and new waves of immigrants and refugees. As a result, our two societies have become significantly more diverse, ethnically, culturally, and racially. At the same time, we've become more closely bound to the world's other communities. How does our enhanced diversity affect the cohesiveness of our societies? How does it influence the course of our representative democracies? Finally, how do the humanities foster and facilitate understanding, cohesion, and advancement of the common good in the context of our greater diversity? Joining me on stage are two participants from the UK. Journalist and author Alex Hannaford, who's currently a fellow at Columbia University, and Alison Phipps, a professor of languages and intercultural studies at the University of Glasgow. The U.S. participants are former Undersecretary of Defense Edwin Dorn, who serves on the faculty of the LBJ School of Public Affairs, and veteran journalist Roberto Suro, who is currently a professor at the University of Southern California. Panelists, welcome. Nice to be with you.
Thank you.
So I'm inclined, as we sit here just a few days after the tragedy in Paris, to begin by asking you whether diversity is an affliction or a liability. There are many people in the last 72 to 96 hours who are saying that it is diversity, it is the willingness to accept different people into our midst that resulted in this horrific day, and that we have to move away from accepting the other rather than toward it if we intend for our world to be secure. Professor, what do you think about that?
That's a great question. And what do I think about that? I don't think it's either or. I think the question goes to the heart of what it actually means to be a human being and to be capable of responding with compassion or with fear. And I think that goes to the heart of the questions that are within the humanities and what the humanities as a space exists to enable us to do. So when we say that the response is to drop the drawbridge and to create Fortress Europe, then we're acting out of the limbic stem at the back of our brains that says, be afraid, be very afraid. Do not ever trust anyone other than yourself. Arm yourself to the teeth and don't let anyone in. And it's a natural fear response. Every human being has it as a response to things they don't understand. Right. But equally, there's the other space that we have, that we cultivate through the humanities, through debate, through dialogue, through hospitality, through the careful, gentle practice of other modes of being that are not working out of a place of fear. And when we do that, then absolutely remarkable creative things can happen that look like hospitality, creativity, and that may be in a positive mode, what we call diversity.
Do you think that, Professor, that the instinct to rebuff diversity was there before an incident like this? Or do you think that it is an incident like this that creates that instinct?
I believe, and I speak here as somebody with a training in anthropology, I believe it is common to all human beings to respond to things we do not understand with a reaction that says, I'm scared, I don't understand it, I want to go into a comfort zone of the things I do understand. Right. I think it's something we see in situations of trauma, particularly, whether that be secondary trauma or trauma that you've immediately responded to and discovered for yourself. So I don't think this is anything that's particular or peculiar or singular to this moment and these attacks in Paris. I think it's always been there. You read historical accounts, you will see people responding with fear, responding with hatred of the other, creating narratives that exclude and that say, as long as we create something that's as pure as possible, we'll be safe. And of course, what we've learned is that these narratives, these ways of behaving and these ways of arming ourselves, these ways of presenting that, neither make us safe, nor do they make us happy.
Let me ask the former Undersecretary of Defense whether security and diversity are compatible ends or compatible goals for our society. Is it possible to have them both concurrently?
Oh, absolutely. The U.S. military is a very good example of that, where they take a very mixed demographic and manage to turn